The letter Bet is the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Being the second letter, obviously its numerical value is 2. Beit, the name of the letter, means bayit, house. And we'll see how the meaning of the letter comes through its form and its number. The idea of house is a very, very basic idea on the level of worlds, souls, and divinity. On the level of worlds, we all have this experience that we spend much of our time in what we'll call houses. Houses here means, in the wider context, buildings. We learn in buildings, we work in buildings, we live in buildings, we go to entertainment in buildings. In other words, the idea of house runs to all of physical reality. On the level of soul, the body is the house to the soul. And therefore, every person has this experience of having their soul housed in a body. On the level of divinity, all of creation is a house, as it were, in relationship to God. And this explains why, at least one of many explanations, why the Torah itself begins with a bet. Because from God's perspective, the entire world is, so to speak, His house. This is a beautiful example of how the name of the number can be seen in the level of worlds, souls, and divinity. Now that we've mentioned that the Torah begins with a bet, we'll continue by saying there's a book called the Tikkunei Zohar. The Zohar is one of the most fundamental books of all of Kabbalah. And it spends, the entire book is about this first word of the Torah, Bereshit, in the beginning. One of the permutations of the word Bereshit is Rosh Bait, the head of the house. Meaning, as it were, God, who is the head, enters into finite reality, His house. In the reasons given why God created the world, one of the most enigmatic one is a phrase from the Midrash that says, V'hita ve'akadosh baruch hu liot lo dira b'tachtonim. That God had a desire to have for Himself a dwelling in the lower places. This is enigmatic because an infinite God, we ask, why does He need a lower reality? And yet we're told that this is God's desire. And this is the secret of the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert, and later the 2 temples in Jerusalem, and in our day, a Beit Knesset, a synagogue. That the temple represented creating a house, a dwelling place for God in this world. And this very much speaks about what Torah and Judaism teaches us as to our role and our relationship with God. That we want to make a dwelling place for God, not only in the physical universe, but within our hearts, within our souls.